All right, hello Brian Bulldogs. This week looks a little different, but we're gonna continue on with our components of fitness unit. Last week we talked about these 4 components of fitness: muscular strength, using your muscles one time; muscular endurance, using your muscles for a long period of time; cardiorespiratory endurance is working your heart and lungs for a long period of time; and then flexibility is when you stretch, bend, reach, and you're just stretching your muscles. Over here is what we're mainly talking about this week, which is our FITT Principles. Okay, so FITT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type, and that reflects on the exercises that you're doing. So if you were planning to do, let's say, a marathon is running. So your exercises, you don't really need to work out your arms specifically. I mean, it's good to be well-rounded, but you're not going to focus on, arm curls or any arm exercises in preparation for that run. You would more so focus on cardiorespiratory endurance exercises. Your frequency would be how often. If I want to prepare and I want to be successful on that marathon, I want to work out several days a week. So I might say, this week I need to exercise 5 of the 7 days and have 2 rest days. And your intensity, you don't want to go hardcore. Intensity is how hard you exercise. You don't want to have vigorous exercises all of those 5 days, because you're not going to really build that endurance that you need. That will help you be prepared for that run. The time that you do is how long. So my exercise, if I have a higher intensity exercise on Monday, I'm probably not going to be working out as long as I might on my Tuesday exercise. That might be a little bit more of a moderate exercise. And then your type is what kind. That refers back to our components of fitness. Which of the components of fitness are you working out on that specific exercise or that specific day? So my exercises that I do 5 days a week in preparation for my marathon are probably all going to be cardiorespiratory endurance. I might throw a couple exercises in those days that work on the other 2. But my focus is going to be my heart and my lungs working for a long period of time, because that's what I'm going to need to be successful on my run. Just remember, you all need to have 60 minutes of physical activity every day. So today we're going to do a little bit of, some exercises that will get your heart rate up, and that hit all of these except muscular strength, because your muscular strength, the way you measure it is using all of your muscle power or muscle strength once. And that means you have to have your maximum weight, and for each of you to have that with you is almost impossible. At school, we have a station that is your long jump and your high jump, and you could do that on your own, but we're not going to do that today. Muscular endurance is working your muscles for a long period of time. We have a few exercises that I will point out which cover would be considered muscular endurance, cardiorespiratory endurance, heart and lungs working for a long period of time, and then flexibility. We have a couple of exercises or stretches / yoga poses that we're going to do today that would be considered flexibility. All right, here we go. All right, so for our first, let's go. For our first exercise today, we're going to do some running in place. So wherever you are, just go ahead. I'm going to put my timer on for 1 minute. And let's go. While we're doing this, you want to try and get your heart rate up. So if you're just moving like this, it's not going to get your heart rate up. Bring your knees almost like high knees, but you're just running in place, trying to get your heart rate up. If you want to sprint, bring it up more. And as soon as my timer goes off, we'll move on. Plan on having music on, but my computer already disconnected. So Just do your best. We're already past halfway. We're only going to do 9 exercises today, so it won't be too difficult. All right, and we're done. So you should hopefully feel your heart rate up. You should be breathing a little differently than you were earlier. And because we did that for only a minute, I mean, think about extending that for 10, 15, 20 minutes. That would definitely be considered cardiorespiratory endurance. Moving on to our second exercise, we're gonna do some leg stretches. So like I said, anytime that you're stretching, bending, or reaching, the exercise would be considered flexibility. So let's go ahead. You should be seated. Go ahead, bring one of your feet in and then stretch down and try and touch the toes of your other with both of your hands. If you can't reach your toes, just grab your ankles. We're gonna hold that for 10 seconds. And I'm just gonna count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll switch. And we'll hold that again for 10 seconds. At school, we have 10 stations set up, and we have students there for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And we have music playing. So once you're done, we give you guys a chart. You look at the chart, and then you do these independently. So you would pick a leg stretch that you have an image attached or beside, and then you on your own would stretch and hold those stretches for 10 seconds. So this stretch is called the butterfly stretch, and it should be stretching the inside of your legs. You don't want your knees to bounce. You just kind of push down on them until you feel that stretch on the inside of your legs. But we'll go ahead and move on to our third exercise or station for today. And we're gonna do sit-ups. And on my chart that I have to keep, which I'll show you later, I have us doing this for 1 minute. So regardless of your ability, just do your best to get as many done in 1 minute as you possibly can. I'm gonna take it relatively easy, but you do your best. This would be considered a moderate intensity exercise. Here we go. For 1 minute, starting now. You're gonna go down with your feet on the ground, and you're gonna be going up, and we want you to touch the other side of your knees. Don't use your neck, so just go up. "30 seconds left. You could kind of make it difficult if you wanted to. And do extensions. Just depends on your ability level. And that's time. We'll go ahead and move on to our fourth station, which is jumping jacks. We're gonna do this, I just have it for 20 reps. That means we're gonna do it 20 times. So we're gonna count out 20 jumping jacks. Here we go. I already lost count, but I think I'm on 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, station 5. That one, by the way, I think I would consider both station 3 and 4, which was sit-ups and jumping jacks. No, let me back up. Sit-ups would be muscular endurance because you're working your core muscles for a period of time. You can extend that, and depending on your endurance levels, you might be able to do more or less. So somebody that's just now starting, if you are not familiar with doing sit-ups, you might not be able to do as much. But the more you do them, the more, or the higher your frequency is, the more frequent you'll be able to do them. And then jumping jacks, as you can see, I'm a little out of breath. So I only did that 20 times. If you did that even for a longer period of time, your heart rate would increase, your breathing would increase, and you're doing it for a long period of time, meaning that would be considered cardiorespiratory endurance. Or that's how we would classify it. That would be the type. That one, by the way, I think I would consider both station 3 and 4, which was sit-ups and jumping jacks. No, let me back up. Sit-ups would be muscular endurance because you're working your core muscles for a period of time. You can extend that, and depending on your endurance levels, you might be able to do more or less. So somebody that's just now starting, if you are not familiar with doing sit-ups, you might not be able to do as much. But the more you do them, the more, or the higher your frequency is, the more frequent you'll be able to do them. And then jumping jacks, as you can see, I'm a little out of breath. So I only did that 20 times. If you did that even for a longer period of time, your heart rate would increase, your breathing would increase, and you're doing it for a long period of time, meaning that would be considered cardiorespiratory endurance. Or that's how we would classify it. That would be the type in FITT. So now we're gonna do a plank, which is our 5th exercise. Plank is, well, just watch. We're gonna do that for 30 seconds. So plank, you wanna get straight back, and you wanna use your core muscles. We don't wanna see anybody with a bent back down or a bent back up. And like you see me, you're on your elbows. So go ahead, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and straight back. Only for 30 seconds. We're 10 seconds in, so we've got 20 seconds to go. If you wanted to make this more difficult, you could do, I think these are called extensions, plank extensions. I could be wrong about that, but you could go up, up, down, down. But we'll just keep it relatively simple. That's 30 seconds, but I'm feeling kind of good, so let's go a little bit more. We'll go 10 more seconds. Really using your core stomach muscles. And time. Okay, so again, since we're using our core muscles for a long period of time, that would be considered muscular endurance. Now I have arm stretches, so we're gonna work on our flexibility again. We'll just hold each of these for 10 seconds. This one, you're gonna extend your arm out, take it across your body, and then hold at your elbow. So if I hold here, my arm's gonna bend. You don't wanna bend your arm. You shouldn't feel any stretch here. You take it across and you hold at your elbow and you kind of pull your arm close to you. So I hope that you all can see that. And we're gonna hold this for 10 seconds. We'll only do this for a couple more minutes, or a couple more seconds. And then we'll switch. We'll take the other arm, take it across your body, and then hold at your elbow. And we'll hold that for 30 seconds. Or not 30, 10. Just to feel that stretch. You should feel that stretch in your upper arm. All right, we'll move to our another arm stretch. You're going to take one arm up in the air, and then you drop it behind your head, and then with the other hand, you grab at your elbow and you kind of pull until you feel, again, another stretch. When you work on stretching exercises or flexibility exercises, you increase your range of motion, which is never a bad thing. Drop your other arm behind your head, take the arm that you just stretched, grab your elbow and pull that one. Again, you should feel a stretch. All right, so that was our 6th stretch. Moving on, we are gonna do some mountain climbers. This one is pretty challenging. Do your best with it. I get tired pretty quick with it, but again, this one, you can kind of adjust your level of intensity. So remember, intensity is how hard you do something. If you want to do this at a vigorous state or a hard or a high level of intensity, you can do this quicker. If you're not there yet, it's fine. Do it a little slower or a little bit more moderate. And just try and work on the form. This is our 7th exercise. It's considered muscular endurance because you're using the muscles that we're about to use for a long period of time to the point that they're gonna get sore. So you know that you're doing a muscular endurance exercise when you feel your muscles get sore. Push-ups is a great example of a muscular endurance exercise because of how sore your arms become after a period of time. So here we go. These are called mountain climbers. You want your back straight. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Your arms are straight. And one at a time, you're gonna bring your knee up to your chest and then put it back down. Up and down. We're gonna do these 15 times each leg. So do your best and let's go. Ooh, okay, I actually did 20, but that's okay. There's no harm in that. That was our 7th exercise. And if you did that for a long period of time, you would feel your muscles get sore. Station number 8, we have today jump squats. So again, these are kind of challenging, but our last station is next, and we're gonna do a little bit of yoga, which will help us bring our heart rate down. We're gonna do some jump squats now. This one works on all of your muscles in your legs. It's pretty good. We're only gonna do these 10 times. Jump squats, you're doing exactly what the name of it says. You're gonna squat down into a sitting position, and then you're gonna jump up as high as you can. Watch me one time, and then we're gonna do these 10 times. Go down into a squat, and then you extend as much as you can up. Back into a squat. Here we go. Jump squats. 10 times, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And our last station, or our last exercise of the day, we're gonna do an upward dog for only 15 seconds. So here we go. When we do an upward dog, it stresses your core muscles. So you do a lot of sit-ups, probably gonna wanna do something like this to help stretch out your core muscles. Feels pretty good. All right, so that's all I have for today, but to take a different look at it, if we needed to categorize or to break down what we did, our workout today, into those FITT principles, we would have what we did to help us remember how to, classify it into our types. So remember, running in place increased your heart rate and your lung capacity, or what your lungs are doing. So that would be cardiorespiratory endurance. And then the time of it would be 1 minute. If you were asked, what was the total time that you did cardiorespiratory endurance exercises today? You would go through and pick our cardiorespiratory endurance stations. Let me see. Running in place, I would consider jumping jacks, and mountain climbers. So we would be able to say 1 minute, and then we have to count our reps. So we would count 20 reps and 15 reps, and we would say 35 reps, 1 minute, probably about 3 minutes total, ballpark. Flexibility stations. Remember we did leg stretches, arm stretches, and yoga. So our frequency would be 3 times. The kind or the type would be 3, or would be kind or type would be flexibility. And then your time would be 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and 30 seconds. 30, 40, or yeah, 30, 40, 50, 65. Whew, math, quick. 45 seconds, so not very much, but you can always increase that to however much you want to work out. So hope that was good for today. Other things that we want you to think about is that when you're here with us online, you're only exercising what, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but you need 60 minutes every day, remember. So exercise is free. You can do jump ropes. If you don't have a jump rope at home, use an invisible jump rope. You can ride a bike or a scooter or a skateboard. Climbing monkey bars maybe at a local park if it's safe. Twirling a hula hoop if you have one. If not, maybe just dance to some music. Walk, jog, or run with a friend. Play an organized game, maybe not necessarily at recess since you guys are e-learning, but maybe with neighborhood friends or family. You can get a soccer ball and kick it around the yard. Climb some stairs, hang from a bar, or just work out during some breaks. We've done some exercises here, and you have a lot of resources at home, so don't be afraid to check out what you can do at home. And then why are we physically active? There's a lot of benefits, but encourages physical activity for life. If you're not an active kid, chances are you're not going to become an active adult. And if you don't work out your heart, or your heart doesn't feel that exercise, that increased level, it's not fighting off disease and infection as an adult will be a little bit more difficult. So helps prevent sickness and diseases, provides an outlet for creativity and self-expression, develops cooperation, teamwork, builds confidence, provides an opportunity for personal goal setting, increases personal fitness and motor skill development, helps reduce stress and anxiety, strengthens relationships with others, and boosts your academic learning. So I hope you learned a thing or two from this week's lesson, and me and Mr. V will talk to you soon.